It's time to get back out there. 5 minutes. I want you on the street in 5 minutes, or I'm really going to give you something to cry about. Dino headed back outside, his footsteps thumping the bare floorboards as heavily as his fists would thump Angel if she didn't get her ass and all the other parts of her body that helped pay the rent into gear. 4 or 5 years ago, he would have kissed her tears away and sweet-talked her into doing what he wanted. There was no need for any of that bullshit now. He had her exactly where he wanted her, and both of them knew it. It wasn't just the smack. She knew plenty of other people she could score from. It was the things she'd told him. Thinking back on it, she wanted to slap herself for having opened up to him, for being so weak and stupid. But at the time she'd needed to talk, to confide in someone, otherwise she might have done something even more stupid. She hadn't told him everything. There were things she couldn't bear to think about, never mind talk about. But she'd told him enough. After rinsing the blood off her knuckles at a sink in the corner, Angel put on lippy and mascara. She shrugged off her dressing gown and slipped into a miniskirt, boob tube, and over-the-knee high-heeled boots. Picking up a can of pepper spray and slinging a handbag over her shoulder, she hurried after Dino. As usual, he was lurking in the ginnel alongside a boarded-up terraced house a couple of streets away. A boy of maybe 18 approached him at the same time as Angel, shoulders hunkered against the raw wind coming off the River Tees. He handed Dino a couple of crumpled tenors, and Dino's hand emerged from the shadows holding a small foil wrap. The exchange happened fast, then the boy was hurrying away. "Looking fuckable," said Dino, approvingly, surveying Angel's fresh-applied slap before dropping his gaze to her outfit that left little to the imagination. Leaning forward with a sneering smile in his eyes, he added meaningfully, "Angel." Hate surged up in Angel again. She had a sudden wild urge to empty the can of pepper spray into Dino's eyes. Oh, how she would have loved to see that fucker scream and squirm. She saw herself doing it, and saw herself grinding a heel into his throat, crushing his windpipe. The far-off wail of a police siren brought her back to the moment with a slight start. "Where do you want me?" "Over by the bridge." Dino scanned the street uneasily as he spoke, ear cocked towards the sound of the siren. The wailing faded away, and his gaze returned to Angel. "Do me proud, baby. And later, we'll do a bit of you-know-what?" He rustled the foil wraps in his pocket. The sound, so repulsively yet irresistibly familiar to Angel, sent a shudder through her. It had only been a couple of hours since her last fix, but already the craving was growing. Her veins itched with it. Angel tottered towards the transporter bridge, whose blue frame dominated the Middlesbrough skyline, straddling the Tees like a steel-limbed horse. She passed a scattering of other girls, all dressed like her in high heels and revealing clothes. Most of their heavily made-up faces were familiar. Some of them smiled and nodded hello. She spotted a new girl, scarcely old enough to be out of school, her eyes glazed with a telltale sheen. The girl shifted nervously as Angel neared her. There was a bruise on her cheek, probably put there by one of the other girls protecting her patch. The girls looked out for each other, but that didn't stop fights from frequently breaking out over who worked the most lucrative spots. Angel gave her a smile, not of sympathy. Her heart was too hardened by bitterness and anger for that, but of understanding. She knew what the girl was feeling. She'd been there herself not so many years ago. She didn't offer any words of reassurance. Some whores liked to take new girls under their wing, impart their wisdom. Not Angel. The idea repulsed her. Nothing this life had taught her was worth repeating. A black BMW with tinted windows crawled along the curb. One of the other girls lifted the hem of her skirt, exposing her bare crotch, but the car didn't stop. She shoved her middle finger up at it, mouthing, "Fuck you." The Beamer pulled over by Angel and the young girl. The driver's side window came down just enough for a massive hand adorned with chunky gold rings to beckon the girl. Flicking Angel a tense glance, the girl hurried to the passenger door and ducked into the car, which accelerated sharply away in the direction of the transporter bridge. "Thought that little bitch isn't sick enough to let him take her over the river," said the girl who'd been snubbed. The other side of the Tees was a lonely mixture.